This is something I've been working on, well, I'm going to say a long time, long time. Well, you know, on and off, so to speak. Left it many years and come back to it and tried some other iterations with a, this has a real spring in it, clockwork type spring. I've tried with plastic springs, but plastic springs, like clockwork springs, can take a long time to print out, and I don't know the strength of them, etc, etc. So it's a model diesel engine starter, so if you have a model diesel engine you might like want to flick it with your finger, and you know you're going to end up like that if you do that. Or you can use like a chicken stick, which is just a stick to knock it round, or quite a lot of people use electric sort of motors. Electric motors need batteries, wires, obviously the electric motor itself. So the basic idea here, you have to excuse this because this printed out slightly crooked for some reason. Don't know if you can see that those two halves there aren't in line, so it sticks a little bit, but this is still what I would term as prototyping. Sometimes the spring unhooks a bit, you heard it there inside, so you can wind it up on a sort of ratchet, and then you press that against the model diesel engine sort of propeller, okay, and then knock the lever. Now at the moment I've just got bolt, and well, I could print out a plastic thing around there to make it a bit sort of smoother, easier to hold. Let me try turning this way because I think the light's a bit better. And wham bam, it gives a motor like a kick start, like on a motorbike where you give it a kick start to get it over the top dead centre. Once it's started it'll keep on running. This does have another sort of ratchet mechanism in, so that this can keep turning. So even if that's pressed on a diesel engine, when the diesel engine starts up, it might be getting on for 20,000 revs per minute, so it's going to be very fast. Obviously you don't want to do that with something like plastic because of friction things, but it is able to turn on this extra ratchet inside. This is still very much early sort of prototyping stage. I might look for an easier spring to fit. This spring is a little bit awkward. I'm using just a clockwork spring inside. A bit hard to fit, so to speak. It's been a little bit fiddly to get just sort of right. So you might see that this is on a, well, there's a ratchet inside. You see there's another spring in here, small spring, metal spring. You can hear it sort of winding. It has quite a bit of power to it. So I think that will be strong enough to actually power, well, kickstart a diesel engine, I'm unsure. But I'll try to show you this in slow motion just now, to show you around it. So this is 3D printed, all the parts just about, apart from the metal parts, the metal spring bolts to hold it together obviously. So let's do it in slow motion. So there you are. Hopefully, I don't know if it recorded the audio there. I might do a talk over that. So I would say this probably needs a little bit more work. It's just prototyping, right, just to see if the basic idea will work. I think I did have a model diesel engine as a child. That might be just about strong enough to spring the sort of torque, and that the turning force might be. There's quite a bit turning force there. It's hard to show you that, but take my word for it, that's got quite a bit of torque. Actually, I'm finding it a bit hard to grip it a bit. I did put some notches on these to try and give some grip. I think I need to make those maybe a little bit bigger, some roughing edging on there. Need a like safety barrier around here so that you can't put your like finger over this edge towards the propeller. I don't know what else I can really say about it. Only will it work in real life? Haven't a clue. So it keeps because this has been printed out a bit like not straight here, when my other prints did print out straight. I don't know, when I was drilling it I might have, because I print out holes but I tend to drill them out for the balls to go in, or have to drill them out for the balls to go in, and they might have been drilled slightly out. So there's one a bit weaker. If I don't turn it so much you might see a little bit well there. Okay, not a bad print. PLA this is printed in. Or I would say that the ratchet mechanism inside, should I take it apart and show you a bit? Yeah, let's do that. So this is inside this part. So here's one ratchet. That's like the main ratchet on this pawl here. And this is sprung in. This is on this lever here. See, it sticks quite a bit, probably because of this poorly printed part. But this ratchet here is like catches on these hooks here, and that allows it to keep rotating if it needs to, like that way round. So even if the diesel engine starts up, it can rotate on this ratchet here. I'll open it further and show you the clockwork spring, which is sort of in the bottom part here. Okay, I've taken out those 4 balls, taken out this bolt on the back. I have to unhook this a bit. There's a sort of metal clockwork spring. This is off a music box. I dismantled a music box to get the spring out. And that sort of hooks on here. And then there's a little bit of a bump on here that it grabs on. Now what I've had to do to get the spring on here on this shaft is print out this other bit, which sort of I bolted in there, and that's a bit more of a taper thing, because that part of the coil in there is quite tight, and then push it on, turn it round as I go, and then line it up and like click it on as much as I can on a little bit of a bump in there. So there's a sliding pawl, and that sort of grips on these teeth here as you wind it up until you pull it back, and then it will release. As I say, what I wanted to talk about is this is PLA, and I think there is a definite strain. I don't know how well we can see it here, but there's like a bit of a, looks, I don't know if it's just the way the prints come out or what, like a bit of a strain round about here. on each side, as if, because these are meant, these have to spring in to get like round on these. Actually, I can, if I hold that, you can heave it. So as I put this on, I'm turning it. So you might just hear that. I don't want to actually take this off, because getting the spring on here is extremely difficult, even with that attachment thing, getting it lined up exactly. And then when it turns this way, it grips, because those sort of open out and grip on the like almost teeth thing on there. This is PLA. ABS is probably better for springs, I believe, my understanding, but I have PLA sort of handy. I didn't want to change over, etc, etc. Don't have much ABS actually. So as I say, there's a pawl, and there's a small spring that sort of pushes on that. So this basically can come off here even if it has a bolt in. So I printed out these 1mm thick washers that sort of go on there, then a metal washer on that, and that holds that on. Same on this bottom side. Well, you get the idea, like a washer there to stop that coming off.